Okay. So we will start today's session on strategic sequence. My only request to all of you will be to listen very carefully. And if you have any doubt in between, please stop me and ask me, for the simple reason this is by far one of the most important things that we can learn. Because this strategic sequence is not just for Blue Ocean Strategy, even though it was through Blue Ocean Strategy that it got designed. It is applicable for every aspect of life. People strategize very well, but the failure happens not in creating a workable strategy, but in executing it. And the strategic sequence is to ensure that we don't fail to execute the strategy properly. With these words, let me begin today's session. What is a strategic sequence and what is its importance? Can any one of you tell me what is the meaning of strategic sequence?
Guruji Vikas.
Yeah.
So strategy sequence, as per my understanding, is that we are articulating strategy, formulating strategy, and then executing strategy.
Okay.
Can I come, sir?
Yes.
Strategy sequence means what ultimate goal you have in your mind and how you do it step by step, and achieve it.
Okay. Anyone else?
Yeah, it is a
Strategy,
systematic.
sorry. Go ahead, Mathurji.
So it is a systematic approach to achieve goal or what objects of it.
Okay.
So to achieve a final objective, you will be having a step-by-step plan, ensuring that that plan is followed strictly according to the sequence, not one first and three, fourth, second and two, third, fourth, like that. So that is one aspect I understand when I look at strategic sequence.
What you all have done is given the meaning of this sentence. That's not what I asked. What is a strategic sequence? That is the question. Do you know what the strategic sequence is? Everyone understands the sequence means the word means step by step. But what is a strategic sequence?
Going in a very logical way.
Again, you are defining you are telling the meaning of this sentence.
Sir, outcome is being planned. That is what is saying. How that we are reaching the outcome and what are the steps we are going to take, that is what the strategy is all about. And step going.
Sorry. To have maximum impact and efficiency.
Okay. Anybody else?
It's a formulation of a plan based upon the strategic objective, which includes sensitivity analysis and what if.
Okay, let us first understand the reason for the need for a strategic sequence. What is its importance? First, let us understand that. The first thing is, it's a step-by-step approach, as all you said, to ensuring that a market strategy is sustainable, profitable, and widely adopted. This is the first aspect of a strategic sequence. It's a step-by-step approach. If we have to define what a strategic sequence is and what's importance is, the first aspect is that it is a step-by-step approach to ensuring that a market strategy is sustainable, profitable, and possibly widely adopted. What is the next side of it? that it should help business move from idea to execution without encountering roadblocks that lead to failure. That means the sequence should be such that it should lead to a successful adoption and execution without encountering any roadblocks that will lead to failure. What does the first one, the step-by-step approach, automatically leads to? It prevents businesses from launching product services that fail to generate demand. We saw that in the NASSCOM report of 2023, 80% of the companies were supposed to have failed only because they couldn't achieve a market product fit. How is that possible? How is it possible that a company will launch a product which will not find a fit? Is it possible? Will any one of you launch a product which is not required by the market? Tell me, will any one of you do that?
No.
No one.
Then how did it happen?
Sir, it is not. It is not about not needing, but the clarity of the usage and the outcome is not explained properly.
And then another reason is commoditization.
Okay. When you see the strategic sequence, you will realize that this transcends all those things. Let's see. And what is the next part of it? When you come to help business move from idea to execution, ensure the new strategy is financially viable from the beginning. Financial viability is very important because that is one of the biggest roadblocks to execution. You enter into executing a strategy without ensuring that the financial viability has been ensured. Halfway through, you find many companies, they start, they generate fund, they go to, venture capitalists, take money. Suddenly, halfway through, they are stuck because they don't have any more money. One of the biggest roadblocks is that when both these are combined together, what happens? Aligns key stakeholders, customers, investors, suppliers, distributors, everybody. Unless all these people are aligned together, your strategy is not going to get you the result. First thing, a strategic sequence should be a step-by-step approach. That approach should keep in mind sustainability, profitability, and adaptability. That means it should be sustainable over a period of time. It should be evenly profitable for the entire period of time. And all stakeholders should be willing to adopt it. This is the first part. What is the second part? From idea to execution, it should be so framed that there should be no significant roadblock that could lead to failure. As a part of the first step-by-step approach, it should prevent businessmen from launching products and services that fail to generate demand. That means the sequence should be such that it should only allow those products to come into the market through the entrepreneurs or the promoters, which will generate demand, which will have a demand in the market. If there is a possibility of a no demand, it should raise a red flag right at the beginning so that it is not launched. And as a consequence of execution, from idea to execution, it should ensure that there is financial viability for the entire period of the execution of that strategy. And when all these things are brought together, it will mean that all the key stakeholders, like be it customers or investors, suppliers, distributors, everyone is totally aligned with the objective of the enterprise. This is what, in short, is a strategic sequence. Just imagine. The creators of Blue Ocean Strategy have designed a strategy which addresses all these things. And the beauty of it is all based upon very fundamental thing called common sense. Yes, Mr. Suresh?
You said everyone should be aligned to the common strategy, whether it's a supplier or a customer or others also.
No, they need not be aligned with the strategy. The strategy should make them aligned with the objective of the organization. You are not going to be tom-tomming the strategy. The strategy, when executed, will ensure that all these people are aligned with the objective of the organization. We will wait, Suresh, you will see what the strategy is, then you will
Thank you, sir.
understand.
Thank you, sir.
Don't put the cart before the horse. Let the cart be behind the horse. So let us first see what is the, how do we get the strategic sequence right? What is the strategic sequence? The strategic sequence has got 4 steps. Number 1, buyer utility. The first thing that you have to ensure is that the buyer utility, that is, the product should deliver exceptional value to the customer. This is the first part. Does the product deliver exceptional value? This question you have to answer. The second one, is the price acceptable to mass buyers? Straight from buyer utility, does it give exceptional value to the buyer? The strategy designers have jumped to the price. Then they go to the cost. Can we make the product, manufacture the product profitability and deliver at this price? Mute, Goswami sir.
Sorry.
Now, do you find, any of you find anything peculiar in this sequence?
Sir, the cost and the price usually is juxtaposed. We determine the cost and then pricing is done based on the raw material and the processing. Here, the price is determined and then the cost is put. That is something which I find little intriguing.
Anybody else?
We
What
are
is
working backwards.
What is question, sir?
Huh?
Everything is worked from customer side.
Can you, sir, clarify more question?
You will see. What do you find in this sequence? Buyer utility, price, cost. What do you find funny in this sequence?
It's all market driven.
Yes, yes.
Guruji, it begins with the buyer utility. It's customer centric.
Okay. Then price. Then cost. One of the major reasons they found why market product fit is a wrong thing which is happening in 80% of the companies is these two, cost and price. This value cost trade-off is what was creating the problem in most of the companies. We will see. Finally, adoption. What barriers might prevent customer from accepting the product? These 4 are the main things. Now let us see buyer utility. We will come to that other. When we come to price and cost, you will understand immediately what is the logic behind the price coming before the cost. And in fact, like Suresh said, usually The cost comes before the price, and that is the reason why most of the companies fail, because cost comes before the price. What do I mean by that? You first decide how much you are spending to create a product, and then you add a margin and start selling it. That is where the problem begins. Please understand one thing. What your cost is, what your problems are, is of no interest to the customer at all. The customer is interested only in how he wants it. How you are going to produce it is your problem. But yes, that can be done, and that is what precisely Blue Ocean strategy addresses. Now we will be seeing how that is addressed. So let us see buyer utility. What is the first thing in buyer utility? The buyer utility has got 6 levers. The first is customer productivity. What do we mean by customer productivity? Can anyone tell me? Can anyone tell me what is meant by customer productivity?
When he uses the product, his productivity should increase.
Very
What
simple
the-
terms, very simple terms. Does the product help the customer save time, effort, and money? That is what the customer is interested in, isn't it?
It will make him more efficient and effective.
Yes, yes.
It should save him money. It should save him time. It should save him effort. Very simple example. Can any one of you give me? Uber. Eliminated waiting time. Payment hassles were not there. And there was no question of bargaining. Everything was very transparent. If this much money you will have to pay to go from here to there. If you are ready with it, you book the cab. Otherwise, you don't. Simple. Number 2, simplicity and convenience. What is the meaning of simplicity and convenience? It is easier to use
User-friendly.
and
It should be
access.
very-
Yes, it is should be user friendly.
Yes.
Simple. Apple iPhone, it combined multiple devices into one. When Steve Jobs did a market survey, he found that people were interested at that time in having a phone, internet, music, everything together. Instead of having 3 separate devices, a phone to talk, a laptop to access the internet, and a Walkman or something to listen to music, they would have preferred everything together. Out popped the iPhone. Third, risk reduction. What is meant by risk reduction? It reduces financial, physical, and reputational risk. One very simple example that comes to your mind is Tesla. Tesla, there is no reputational risk in it. It's a unique vehicle of its own. It gives you a social status. All over the air software updates constantly is flowing into the car and updating it. And it has got all the safety features which are necessary in a car without occupying unnecessary space. It ensures that it tells you how far you are from the next car, which car is there beyond your vision. Is very safe. A classical example of risk reduction. Then comes fun and image. What is fun and image? Provides emotional satisfaction and prestige. Starbucks is a very good example of fun and image. Selling an experience, not just coffee. Then comes, it should be environment friendly. It should be sustainable, and it should be eco-friendly. Tesla marketed its car not as a car, but as a electric car as a green alternative mobility. It did not damage the environment, reduced carbon emission. All these things went to create a separate space for Tesla in the minds of the customer. Then finally, you have health and safety. There are so many things. One of the most classic things was during the COVID pandemic, Peloton launched Safe Home Workout, replacing gym visits. They went online to guide people how to work out at home and provided them with all the machinery and all the equipments necessary to work out at home. And they went online and all the trainers guided the people from that. It became a gigantic success. So buyer utility has got 6 major points which you have to check when you are checking your product. If these 6 points you can ensure that they are there, then definitely there is no possibility of the product failing at the marketplace. As a first step, there are 3 more steps after this. Second is pricing, third is cost, fourth is adaptability. But at the first step, it is the customer who is the king. So number 1, is your product productive for the customer? In other words, is it going to save time, money, and effort for him? If it is not going to do that, then the product chances of succeeding have already reduced. Second thing is simplicity and convenience. Is it going to be easy to use and access? For instance, supposing a product you are launching, but it is not available anywhere. Can any one of you give me an example of a product which is very easy to use, but accessibility is not there?
Pardon, easy to use, but
Accessibility is not there. You can't get it.
Certain security system, fire safety system, these are
Very simple. Recently, a company from Singapore has launched a glucometer, which, like the oximeter, if you put in the finger, it will tell you what your blood sugar level is. Are you aware of it? This has been launched.
no, sir.
This has been launched. Listen to me. This has been launched and they are advertising it heavily. But the problem is not available anywhere. What is the use? Very simple to use. Like an oximeter, which tells you your heartbeat, your pulse rate, and the oxygen content of your blood. You just slip it into your finger. It will tell you what the blood sugar level is. No pricking, no carrying around needles, no carrying around glucose strips, nothing. Just put it and it will tell you. Accuracy rate is more than 99%. Very well documented because it has been tested and it has been used and it has been proved. But availability is not there because they are unable to manufacture to the extent which is required internationally, and they are not even able to supply it adequately in Singapore. So you see, simplicity of use and accessibility both are important in the case of simplicity and convenience. You just cannot have only one. Third is risk reduction. It should reduce financial, physical, and reputational risk. Financial risk means what? You invest, you buy, but it does not give you the results that is necessary. You have used the money without being able to get the return on that investment. Physical risk, difficulty in usage. Reputational risk, it comes from a place or a brand which is not appreciated and respected. All these 3 should not happen. In other words, the brand should be known, it should be easy to use, it should be accessible, it should not cause physical strain, and there should not be any financial question mark behind it. Then comes fun and image.
So I have a question. Is
Yeah.
it okay?
Yeah.
See, you talked about the reputation of the company. See, let us say a company is in a particular segment a leader, but they are entering into a new segment where they are not the leaders, they are not reputed. Do you mean to say that is hampering them?
You really think so, Suresh? Unmute the video. I'm surprised that you have asked such a question. I'm absolutely surprised and shocked. Just tell me one thing. Apple were the leaders in laptops. They came into phones. What happened?
They were successful, very, very successful.
Why? Did anyone question their ability? From that, they went into music. Then what happened? But remember one thing, just because they became leaders in music, they became leaders in phone, and they already were a leader in computers. When they came out with the glasses as a competition to Google, both Google and Apple failed. So you see, remember one thing, if you have got a good image, good brand image, if you are known, it will automatically move to the segment that you are moving into, provided the other things are fulfilled. But Apple's eyeglasses, Google's eyeglasses did not fulfill buyer utility, did not fulfill pricing criteria. That is why they failed. If you want, in one of our workshops, we can do an exhaustive work on that with the strategic sequence and see how that is so. Tell me one thing, what did the Google glasses achieve? Nothing. It was a futuristic thing, but could they
very
tell
costly
how,
also.
you forget the cost. It was a very futuristic thing. But could Google explain how it was going to be useful today? They could not. So the product failed overall because it did not address customer productivity. The first thing itself, it failed. How was it saving the customer any time? Tell me, what could the customer have achieved by using that Google Glass? What was it saving in terms of effort? What work was it doing for the customer? Nothing. And what are the simplicity and convenience in it? There was nothing. So again, what was it replacing? To reduce financial risk. It was not replacing anything. Yes, it was futuristic. But in what way was the future necessary in today at that time? Maybe after artificial intelligence has taken over the world totally, Google Glass might become very important and useful. But as things stand today, they could not justify why it was required. And another very important thing it did not do was what? Fun and image. It was not fun because no one could understand how they could use it. And image, the Google Glass, no one would know that you are using a Google Glass unless you tell to them. So that there was no enhancement of the reputation of the individual using it. Whereas when you use an Apple iPhone, the logo clearly tells it's an iPhone. The image aspect of it is there. In many places, you will see that the iPhone is kept face down so that the logo is visible on top of the table. People put the phone in their pocket in such a way that over the flap of the pocket, the logo, part of the logo is visible. You know, it has become a status symbol. Now let us see how the 6 utility levers unblock buyer value. First, One is the lever, the second is the definition, third is the example. Customer productivity, does it save time, effort, or cost? As I gave you the example, Uber eliminated waiting time and payment hassle. Number two, simplicity and convenience. Is it easier to use or access? Is it available everywhere? Is it very easy to use? Apple iPhone combined multiple devices into one, and availability was ensured not only through every shop which was selling mobile, even through specialized Apple outlets. Number three, risk reduction. Did reduce financial, physical, and reputational risk. Tesla over-the-air software updates for safety. Then comes fun and image. Does it provide emotional satisfaction or prestige? Starbucks, selling an experience, not just coffee. Before this, coffee used to be sold on roadside shops or any restaurant. You can buy a cup of coffee. There was nothing. It had only functional value. It had no emotional value. It had no, social value. But with the coming in of Starbucks, the functional value started taking a back seat. You had not just an emotional value and a social value. Now, a buyer of value concept also they brought in, because you could go sit in their shop, in the Starbucks counter, in the Starbucks, shop, have music, have AC, good ambience, and work for hours on end without being disturbed. So the adjunct value or buyer of value concept also came in. It was a master stroke which made Starbucks the real trendsetter in coffee. Environmental friendly. Is it sustainable and eco-friendly? Again, Tesla marketed electric cars as a green alternative. When people were talking about so many other things, here was Elon Musk, who came in with a green alternative to a car and swept the market totally. Health and safety, does it improve customer well-being? Peloton, safe home workouts, replacing gym visits. You see, many people, they want to go do, exercises and other things. They want workouts, but they are very lazy to go to gym. They take a membership. I don't know how many of you have taken gym membership in your lifetime. I have taken at least thrice. And all the 3 times I started and dropped it halfway through. Because the rigors of going repeatedly to the gym every day, I just could not do it. The first couple of days or a couple of weeks, we go regularly and then we drop it. But then Peloton brought gym to the house. They supplied the equipments, and then on the online, they started teaching you. That was a massive thing which they did. These 6, what are they? Customer productivity. Check first whether your product saves time, effort, and cost for your customer. Number 2, is it easy to use, user-friendly, and available everywhere? Because you see, however much effective and necessary a product is, if it is not available, it is of no use. Number 3, it should reduce financial, physical, and reputational risk. And what is one of the best way of solving this reputational risk? Can anyone tell me? Now, there are so many of you here. Business people. Yogesh ji is a business person. Mr. Balakrishnan is a business person. Mr. Sanjay is a business person. Vikas is a business person. They are all promoters of a business. One question they might be having: how do we ensure that this reputational risk is addressed? Do you have this question? How will you address this reputational risk?
You
Does
must,
anyone know what is the name of the company of Mr. Vikas? Does anyone know?
no,
Does anyone know what is the name of the company of Mr. Balakrishnan? Does anyone know here? No. Does anyone know what is the name of Mr. Sanjay's company? No. Does anyone know what is the name of Mr. Yogesh's company?
no.
Now tell me, is there a reputational risk? Serious reputational risk. How do you expect to succeed and grow to the level that you want if your reputation itself is not there? How can you overcome this reputational risk? You see, I'll give you a simple example. See, Mr. Vikas or Mr. Yogesh or Mr. Sanjay, they're all offering services, isn't it? So physical risk is not there. How do you overcome the financial and the reputational risk? Financial risk oftentimes is notional. Reputational risk most of the time is cognitive. Do you understand what I mean? Will anyone try to explain to me what I said? I have told Mr. Yogesh, I have told Mr. Vikas, I have told Mr. Balakrishnan to start releasing posters of their company's name in the social media. Have I not done that? What, Vikas ji?
Yes, sir.
Why? You tend to believe the person you know. You tend to trust and do business with the person you know. If people keep hearing your name, they keep seeing your name, they develop a familiarity and intimacy with you and develop a trust. That is how you overcome reputational and financial risk. You mean to tell me there are no bad experiences of customers who deal with Tatas? But then Tata, people say, is a very good company. Correct or not?
Yes.
See, if you are at the top of recall, if people keep seeing your name, Nishion, Yogesh Jain, over a period of time, you develop a reputation. They might not have dealt with you, they might know nothing about you, but अरे यार ये नाम सुने हैं. How many times we have said this? ये नाम सुने हैं. Now, can any one of you tell me a recent advertisement which emphasizes on this? You can't open the TV today without seeing this advertisement. Any response or only we are going to be sitting like this silently? मारी खाते हो योगेश?
Yes.
ये एडवर्टाइजमेंट देखा है? बोले पार्ले मारी बोलो, पार्ले बोलते हैं ना? See, again and again they are emphasizing on the name Parle. Why? Mari is a thin arrowroot biscuit. All thin arrowroot biscuits are the same. Some thin arrowroots are better than others. Animal farm. All animals are same, some are better than others. What is better? Parle. Again, you see name, reputation. You don't have to eat Mari to develop that reputation of being a good Mari biscuit. As long as people keep hearing and seeing your name everywhere, the reputation will automatically start growing. That is the reason, why companies advertise. That is the reason why they require top of the mind recall. When they talk in advertisement or top of the mind recall, that is what we mean. As employees, we have got a number of employees here, like Muthu is there, KB is there. Then, we have got Mr. Raju, who is a professional chartered accountant. The more there is top of the mind recall in their company for them, the greater the chances of their career growth, because reputation. They are addressing reputational risk. When the reputation is good, financial risk will go down. Means automatically it is assumed that you are a good return on investment. That is how the mind works. That is called the halo effect. In cognitive bias, it is called the halo effect. Then comes your fun and image. Unless you are able to provide emotional and social benefit to your customer, now how will you give social benefit? The more you are known, the more people want to associate themselves with you. And the more people want to associate themselves with you, the more you are giving them prestige. These are some of the most essential things that you have to ensure. That means, you see, when you're launching a product, how well your company is known is very, very, very important. Success in any venture is through providing the buyer value. And how do you unlock this buyer value? By ensuring that these 6 utility levers are taken care of. That brings us to another very important thing, which is pricing strategy in BOS. This is by far the most important thing that BOS has given to the world. How to price a product? Number 1, identify the price corridor of the masses. Pricing in BOS is a very, very strategic thing. They do it in a very strategic manner. They don't take the cost. They don't take what the competitor is giving, and all those things are all only indicators. All these things are used to arrive at the price in a very, very scientific manner, which makes BOS pricing strategy the best thing to follow. Identify the price of corridor of the masses. What does it mean? It means analyze, understand the segment. The price segment, analyze and understand it. Next, assess the price corridor dynamics. What are the dynamics which are playing in this price corridor? Price corridor means a range. Analyze and understand and segment that range from 5 to 10 rupees. Then assess the price corridor dynamics. What are the dynamics which are controlling this price corridor? Study, understand, and evaluate it. We will do it now. We will do this thing so that you will get an understanding, and then we will have an exclusive workshop on pricing, how to price. The third thing is choose a level within the corridor. It need not be at the top. It need not be at the bottom. Choose something which is in between, irresistible and aligned with your cost structure and profitability. This is where your cost structure and profitability comes in, not in the first 2 steps. It's in the third step of choosing a level within the corridor is where your cost structure and profitability comes in. And if it doesn't work there, you have to go back to the drawing table and create the value innovation necessary for it. Value innovation, how do we create? How do we create value innovation for a product? No response. Total silence.
Guruji, your question is, how do we create the value innovation for the product?
Yeah.
Guruji, through market surveys and all that, like design thinking? or value proposition canvas.
No.
You price a product in such a way that the customer feels he is paying the right price and is getting the right value for the product. For what he is doing.
Lots of words, you know. This is what Shakespeare said when he, this is what he meant when he said, Lord of Sound and Fury signifying nothing. Lots of words meaning nothing. What is the standard format to create value innovation? It's a very specific format we have discussed in both the earlier, all the three, the introductory webinar we spoke, in the first one we spoke, in the second one also we spoke. What is that format? The 4-action format, what is that?
ERRC.
Correct, Raju sir. ERRC. What is it in your current offering you can eliminate, which is superfluous, which is there because others are also having it? What is it you can reduce? That means what is it you have overloaded that feature that you can reduce? When you eliminate something and reduce something, automatically cost will come down. Your cost will come down. The third R is raise. What is it that requires to be raised so that the latent need of the customer can be fulfilled? What is the overloading of the feature? Which one you need to do and what do you have to create so that the gain can be felt by the customer? This is the ERRC framework for value innovation. So when you find in the third step of pricing that your cost is not matching with the level within the corridor that you're choosing, then you have to go back and align with the structure and profitability through value innovation. And the fourth is ensure pricing is integrated with cost. After you do that, you ensure that the pricing is integrated with cost. That is where the cost innovation, also known as the value innovation, comes in. So your value innovation would be successful. The third step value innovation will be successful and you will come down to the cost, which will ensure that the pricing is integrated. Now let us see a few companies which have done it. Should we do that? First, identify the price corridor of the masses. How did some of the companies do it? What is it? Analyze price points, understand direct and indirect alternatives, and then segment into first tier, second tier, and third tier. What is the first tier? Similar products and services. That means companies which are offering similar products and services. You compare, you see what is the type of price that they are giving. Number two, different form, same function. It might not be similar product and services, but they could be in a different form, but fulfilling the same function. What is the third? Can any one of you give me some examples of this from your daily life?
IKEA.
Swiggy and Zomato.
Swiggy and Zomato, similar products. What is the second one? Different form, same function.
This
Ola and Uber, sir.
Huh?
Ola and Uber.
Okay, Uber Eats.
Uber
Different.
Eats. Yeah. Guruji, this Blinkit and this Baby Daily, this big basket.
But Zomato and Swiggy, they are giving directly cooked food, which only Uber Eats does.
Yes.
Your Blinkit does not bring you food, nah? Does it? I don't know.
No.
At least in Bangalore, it doesn't.
Blinkit gives the raw material.
अरे बहुत सिंपल अपने घर में देखो ना Number
Raw
one,
material.
first tab. When you are going to, when you are looking for a housemaid for your house, what do? You check up what other houses are maid, they are paying the maid, isn't it? Do you or not?
Yes.
Okay. तो आप पोछा करने के लिए housemaid ढूंढ रहे हो. You want someone who will come and clean the house. So you try to check up how much they are paying. What is the second one? Different from same function. Is there anything like that?
Or robots.
Robo Zumba.
Yes.
So form is different, function is the same. घर का पोछा लगाता है. So at one is investment, how many months it will run? How many years it will run? What will be the per month calculation? You can do that. Third, indirect and direct non-consumption. There are many companies today which have come, which are giving services. No fixed person, but every week the person will come and clean the house and everything and go away.
Urban clap.
Urban clap. So you see, you have got 3 here. Straight away. So like that, you try to see, analyze the price points and understand direct and indirect alternatives and segment them into first tier, second tier, and third tier. Now, this is where the price corridor of the mass comes in. These are the 3 corridors. Now let us see what companies have done. Let us take 3 companies. We will follow them through all the steps. First is Cirque du Soleil, which is one of the most classic blue ocean strategy. This is an example which blue ocean strategy will use at every step. What is Cirque du Soleil? It is a combination of circus and Broadway. First tier, traditional circuses. Charge was $10 to $20. Second tier, theater and concert. That's also entertainment. Cost was $50 to $150. Third tier, home entertainment, TV streaming, like Netflix, Amazon Prime and everything. What is the takeaway? Most value-conscious families went for circuses, affluent adults for theaters, and circus found a sweet spot in between, pricing it $75 to $85. It was neither the traditional circus price nor the cost of the theater and concert. And it could be, it was for all the members of the family. Now let us see the second one, iTunes. First tier CD, full albums at $10 to $15. Second tier, pirated downloads, which are totally free. Now, the third is radio, passive, non-interactive listening. No cost, but no interaction. You can't decide what you want to hear. Whatever that station, the radio station is playing, only you have to take. What did iTunes do? Priced songs at $0.99 per dollar. $0.99 per song. Affordable, legal, flexible. You could download whichever one you want. It sat between illegally free and expensive full album. When you purchase an album for $10 to $15, maybe one song you got of your choice. When you went for pirated version, again you got only one song of your choice because you had to download the entire album. But there was no safety in it. But here, for a mere $0.99, that is $1, you could download the song of your choice and you could download like that n number of songs that you wanted and enjoy it in a legal way. That is what made iTunes such a big hit. Now you see, when you see this, each of the CD will contain 10 to 15 songs. So the price of 10 to 15 was not wrong for it. But in the case of iTunes, you will again still spend $10 to $15 for 10 to 15 songs at the rate of $0.99 per song, but it will be totally to your satisfaction and to your desire. The third is Datsun Go Nissan car. First tier budget cars, 3 to 5 lakhs. Second tier used cars, 1.5 to 3 lakhs. Third tier two-wheelers, 0.7 to 1 lakh. Datsun Go is aimed at people upgrading from two-wheelers, pricing it just above that range. This is how they did the pricing. Any questions? This was the first part of the identify the price corridor of the masses. At the end of this, you will see now there are 4 points in this. All the 4 we will cover. The second is what is assessing the corridor of dynamics, the dynamics of the price corridor. How do you assess the dynamics of the price corridor? First is the segment, the first tier, the second tier, the third tier, the 3 different types of products which are the competitors for the product that you have come. Understand the dynamics of each level. What are the price dynamics here? How price sensitive are the customers? What is the trade-off between margin and volume? At what volume do the margins become good? How does pricing affect perception, scale, and adoption? See, supposing you were to price the product very low, people will not respect you. If you price it very high, no one will come to you. So you have to be able to price it correctly, looking at what's happening all around you. This is what is meant by price corridor dynamics. Who is your customer and how much sensitive is he to that price? And what is the trade-off? After only a particular level, volume of sales, will the margin start becoming meaningful? You can say that I have kept a margin of 50% on a product. But what does it really mean? Can anyone tell me what does it mean when you say you have kept 50% margin for a product?
It doesn't mean anything unless you know the product. For example, a vegetable may have 50% margin, but the volume is too less for a vegetable vendor. So at the end of the day, they might be carrying hardly 500 rupees a day. So you have to understand what kind of volume you are getting associated.
Correct. So margin is always connected to volume. You can say that I have got a 50% margin on a 100 rupee product, and your daily expenditure could possibly be 5,000 rupees. So this 50% margin on a 100 rupee product will become meaningful only after you have recovered 5,000 rupees expenditure of that day. Without that, it becomes meaningless. That margin has become meaningless. So now let us see Circade is solid. Customers were less price sensitive when the value, sophistication, ambience was high. Who are the people who are very interested in ambience and sophistication? Can you tell me? Who was more
HNIs.
Correct. So you see, high net worth individuals are the one who are more interested in sophistication and ambience. They were less price sensitive. Volume greater than margin aimed for a broad audience at a slightly premium price. If you keep it very high, margin will be very high, but volume will be very less. So obviously, there was a necessity to trade off volume and margin. Higher prices signal luxury and uniqueness, essential for the adult market. So if you keep it very low, then the good people, the moneyed people, the valuable people will not come. Now let us see iTunes. Users were highly price sensitive. Why? Because they were habituated to free downloads. iTunes went for high volume with low margin, 0.99 per song. What will be the margin? Very less. The price had to be low enough to convert pirates yet justify legal convenience. You see, people who were going in for pirated songs had to be converted to buyers. Then only you can have volume. That is the reason why the price was kept at 0.99 per song. That's why he sold per song. Nissan, Datsun, Go. Emerging market buyers are susceptible to price. Now just imagine these type of cars, which are between two-wheelers, on the borderline of second-hand cars and small hatchbacks, are in the emerging market more, not in developed countries. Margins were razor thin. So Nissan focused on volume and cost innovation, value innovation. Remove everything which was not necessary. Many things which are not necessary was removed. But do you know one company failed doing that? Can anyone of you tell me which it was?
Nano.
Nano, correct. Price needed to create an aspirational yet affordable image. What did Nano make the mistake?
Cheaper car.
They did not look at aspirational aspect. They only kept in mind the affordable part of it.
Price.
Cheaper car.
If they had kept the aspirational part of it also in their mind, Nano would have been a gigantic success. Right from the beginning, see, the birth of Nano took place when Ratan Tata was going in a car in a rain and he saw a family of 4 riding a scooter in the rain. He thought, what I could provide a car to them at the price of a scooter so that they can be guarded from the rain. You see, right from the beginning, this image was in his mind. He did never thought about the aspirational aspect of the family also. He thought only of the convenience and the economy. But he did not realize that convenience and economy are functional aspects of a product. The emotional and the social aspect he forgot. In value proposition, 3 major parts are functional, social, and emotional. Ratan Tata focused on functional, but he did not look at the social and the emotional aspect. The product failed. Classic example. But Datsun Go did not do that. It also looked into the aspirational part of it, and in the process became a success. Now you have seen the 3 tires, the corridors. The corridor dynamics also you have understood. Now let us go to choosing a level within the corridor. How do you choose a level within the corridor? Pick the correct price point. Appeals to the largest pool of target buyers. Identify who is the target buyer. Find out the largest pool from this. Supposing the target buyer segment has got 1 lakh and the largest pool is of 60,000, select the price which will appeal to the 60,000. It should be hard to copy because others are already there in the market. The moment you come with it, they will start attacking you. You should ensure that they are unable to do that. Allow for profitable delivery at that level. Now comes the question, the third point of cost. This creating it is going to have a cost for you. So you should keep that in mind, that it should be profitable at that point at which you deliver. Let us see Circuit du Soleil. Price between Circuses and Broadway. Circuses were 10 to 20. Broadway 75 to 150. They priced it in between. Created a unique genre, adult entertainment with circus roots. That means they combined circus acrobatics, humor with Broadway. The price was hard to imitate because traditional circuses couldn't afford that experience, and Broadway cannot come down to this level. So they were safe from both attacks. iTunes, 0.99 per song, psychologically compelling and easy to buy without thinking. $1 is okay. People are willing to pay. Difficult for record labels to offer such pricing directly. CDs and record labels could not afford or give that price. iTunes built a new revenue model for the music industry. They circumvented the problem of piracy and built a new model. Now let us see Datsun Go. Position just above two-wheeler and used cars. Just above two-wheelers and used cars, they positioned it. The price was strategically chosen to create aspiration. All those who were buying, second-hand cars, or who are having a two-wheeler, they could aspire with the entrance of Datsun Go to buy a new car from a good brand. Difficult for competitors to match due to Nissan's cost advantage. At the price at which they gave, they found that they could manufacture and still make a profit. This was very difficult for other car manufacturers because they had already set themselves at a particular cost level and they were selling cost plus margin concept, which Datsun did not do. Now let us see how the price is integrated with the cost. What do you mean by price integrated with the cost? Profitable at the chosen price. The final check is whether you can profitably deliver at the chosen price. Circuit de Soleil cut costs by eliminating animal, tents, logistics, and star performers. They did not have star performers. No tents had to be shifted and no big, cages had to be shifted because animals were totally removed. They focused on story, music, and acrobatics the way Broadway did. These cost saving funded the premium production quality and they produced with a premium quality because of these reduction in the cost. The biggest cost was animals and the biggest cost was star performers. When both these were removed, it became a very economical proposition and that saved money they could pump into production. iTunes, Apple used its existing platform, iPod, iTunes ecosystem to reduce distribution costs. The distribution cost was totally removed because they had their own platform. Digital delivery is zero inventory. When you are only delivering digitally, you had to download. There was no inventory. But in the case of CDs and records, inventory had to be maintained. Manufacturing was there. Zero shipping. All they had to do was download. Profit made through scale and ecosystem lock-in. So you see, it was a beautifully thought out plan. That is how they integrated the pricing with the cost. Now let us come to Datsun Go. Stripped down features, modular platform, shared components. This was, modular platform was something which was unique to Datsun Go. Platforms were shared, components were shared. No frill design helped maintain quality while keeping costs low. Local sourcing and minimalistic interiors ensured viability, but they provided everything which other cars were providing so that there was a aspirational fulfillment for the customer. The customer's aspirational fulfillments were achieved. So you had four different steps to it. What are those four steps? Tell me, what are the four steps?
Identify the price corridor of the mass.
First is create the segments. First tier, second tier, third tier. Second
is the assess the price corridors dynamics.
Dynamics of the price corridor. Understand that. Third,
Then choose a level within the corridor.
Choose a level within the corridor. Fourth,
Ensure that pricing is integrated with the cost.
correct. And how would you do that? Through value innovation.
Value innovation.
Now let us see adoption. Cost, everyone knows there is nothing unique about it. Adoption is a two-step process. What is the first step? Remove the hurdles in the way. There are four different types of hurdles. You have to remove those four different types of hurdles. Second, execute with tipping point leadership. We will, briefly look at the tipping point leadership. result in the successful adoption of the blue ocean strategy. First is you remove the hurdles in the way. Second is execute with tipping point leadership. What are the hurdles? There are 4 different types of hurdles. Number 1,
Cognitive
cognitive
hurdles.
hurdle. What is
Cognitive
cognitive
hurdle.
hurdle?
Convincing employees of the need for change.
Yes. Second is resource hurdles.
Resource
Achieving
hurdle.
more with limited resources. Can any one of you tell me a scientist, a management scientist who has given a good example, who has talked a lot about this?
Yes, Saraswati.
Correct.
Vikram Sarabhai.
No, Saraswati effectuation principle. Third, motivational hurdle. Energizing employees to drive change. You see, we will be discussing this exclusively as a separate masterclass. Because this is very, 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 very important, not just for Blue Ocean strategy, but for any manager and any entrepreneur. This is very important. This comes under the category of behavioral science. You know, in management, there is a totally, there is something called organizational behavior. I'm sure all of you know. This is a full course on organizational behavior, which has been condensed into 4 organizational hurdles by Blue Ocean strategy. And they have given beautiful, solutions to all these. So we will have a separate class on this, master class on this. Managing resistance from powerful internal and external stakeholders is the political hurdle. So there are 4 hurdles: cognitive hurdle, convincing employees of change, their need for change; resource hurdle, achieving more with limited resources, that is the effectuation principle; third is motivational hurdle, energizing employees to drive change, what is normally called as change management; and the fourth is political hurdle, managing resistance from powerful internal and external stakeholders. Now let us see the tipping point leadership execution. There are 3 processes in this. E. A few players. What is tipping point leadership execution?
Tipping point is where you reach a point where the critical mass starts following what is happening.
That is usually tipping point. We are talking about tipping point leadership execution. Tipping point leadership or tipping point execution is the concept which says a few players can create a cascading effect if they are won over to you early in the process. Let us say there is a company of 100 people. You don't have to go and change all the 100 to achieve a result. Just 1 or 2 key people can create a huge amount of difference in taking the entire mass with you. In the same way, you don't have to change the entire system. You don't require a system-wide reform if you have to create a very effective execution. Focused set of action rather than system-wide reform. Focused set of action rather than a system-wide reform can ensure that the tipping point leadership is achieved. The tipping point leadership has got 3 E processes. First is engagement. What is this engagement? Involve people in the decision-making process. Number 2, when we say engage people, involve people in the decision-making process, the engagement process, while you will be engaging, you will be involving all the people, the real focus is going to be on those 1 or 2 who are responsible for the cascading effect. You'll have to win them over by engaging them. Explanation. Explain why the set of decisions of what is to be done and who should do it and in what time. Can any one of you give me an example in recent times of tipping point leadership?
In recent times,
Yeah.
Trump handpicking few people like Elon Musk to get the efficiency of the government system.
Huh?
DOGE. Trump picking up Musk and Musk picking up some people to get DOGE in the right way.
अरे यार अभी जो हो रहा है इंडिया में
Modi started, engaging everybody and called
Yeah.
everybody on Pahalgam.
And then you see, first the discussion was with the army chief, I think. Then you have the ministry, Jai Shankar and other. Then you have the the leader of the opposition and the opposition party. What is he doing? He's drumming up opinion and converting a few people to take a mass of 140 crore people along with him. What is happening when you call all the people and make them sit in a room and tell them this is what I am going to do in the interest of the country? Are you people with me? Who will stand up and say, no, I'm not with you? Tell me. Optics. And when that optics makes them say, I am with you, what happens? Cascading effect. It goes down. One person somewhere in Karnataka or someplace says, no, this is not that, immediately. See, your leader is telling that, you are telling it now. He backs and says, no, I also want that.
अब बदल गया वो.
So you see, tipping point leader, are you understanding it? How this works? If it can work with 140 crore people in a country, just imagine how much more easier it will be for an organization of say 100 or 1,000 or 10,000. Only thing is you need to know who to pick. Who are the people who are going to be of value to you? You engage them. Are you getting the idea of tipping point leadership?
Yeah.
Because you see, Blue Ocean strategy is all about doing something which has never been done. All along, what has been done? We are fighting within the same ecosystem, within the same segment, within the same red ocean, with different competitors and trying to snatch a share. And now here, you are trying to take the company away from the red ocean into an uncontested market space. This requires a paradigm shift in terms of business strategy. For that, you require the entire company with you. So you need to engage, involve people in the decision-making process. You can't take the entire 140 crore Indians into the decision-making process, but you have to explain to them. And in the process, you have to identify all those key people who can create a cascading effect. Number two, you have to explain to them why the set of decisions or what is to be done and who should do it and in what time that has been taken. Why that decision has been taken, that you have to explain to them. And finally, you have to show them very clearly what is the expected goal, responsibilities, and accountabilities. What is it I'm expecting? Who is going to be responsible for what and who is going to be accountable for what? Once this is done, the tipping point leadership has been achieved. So the combination of overcoming hurdles, that is cognitive, resource, yes? Anybody here? What is the next one?
Motivational.
Motivational, then
Political.
Political. Once the 4 hurdles are overcome, the cognitive, resource, motivational, and political, then what do? You identify those 3, 4, 5 people who, by pulling on to your side, you can create a cascading effect of everyone following you in the organization and implementing it. For that, you first engage them, explain to them, and then clarify to them what is the expectation that you have from this whole exercise. This is how the adaptability happens. Once we do the workshop, you will be able to do it yourself for your organization and in your career. Any questions? We are at 9:30. I think 1.5 hours. If there is any question, I'll take the questions and then we will move on to our next session. Bala?
So, Guruji,
हाँ बोलिए.
तो अभी इसमें buyer's utility में भी we are left with 4 steps. We have covered so far 4 steps. That's it, how we will go. So in that 4 steps, what we
4 steps?
identify the price corridor of the mass, assess the
That is pricing, not in buyer utility.
sorry, acha, that is a pricing.
You see, first is buyer utility in the strategic sequence.
Yeah.
Before achieving price, you go to buyer utility.
Correct.
What do you do in buyer utility?
We take care of the customer productivity, simplicity and convenience, risk reduction.
There are 6 things.
Yes.
First is customer productivity.
Yes.
Second is simplicity and convenience. You first check whether the product will satisfy the customer's productivity requirements. That means will it save time, effort, and money for him? That is what the first thing you'll have to check. Second thing is simplicity and convenience. Is it easy to use? Is it available everywhere? Accessibility is there or not? Then comes risk reduction. What are the risk reductions? Reputational risk, that means is the company known. Financial risk, automatically is the company trusted for a return on the investment?
And physical risk.
Physical risk, is it? Will it cause any harm to me or will I have difficulty in working with it? Then comes what? Fun and image. Will I enjoy working with it? Will it automatically give me, the emotional and the social value proposition? Is it fulfilling? Then comes environmental. Is it sustainable? Is it eco-friendly? If it is not eco-friendly, the government is going to come down on you. Eco-friendly, why that is important? Because there is one more value proposition, which is an adjuvant value proposition. There is disposability. If it is not eco-friendly, how will you dispose it? Okay, the final is health and safety. Health and safety में क्या है? Does it help me with my well-being? Again, that is a part of the emotional value proposition. So these 6 are very important. Only a product which will ensure customer productivity, which will ensure simplicity and convenience, which will ensure risk reduction, which will ensure the emotional and the social aspect of the customer satisfy, which is environment friendly, can be disposed of easily, and is not a health risk, will be acceptable. That is buyer utility. Then comes price. First is the different tiers. then the corridor dynamics, then comes integration, then finally adoption. That's all. No more questions. Bala, are you hearing? Are you there?
Sir, yes, sir. I am there in between. I got a call, sir. Sorry.
Okay. Any questions, Bala?
No, no, sir. I will go through the recording, sir. I'll come back to you.
Okay. Thank you. Yes, Bala, if you want, we can fix up a time for you separately, Bala. You are
Yes, sir.
entitled to a time, isn't it?
Yeah.
To a one-on-one.
Maybe after a week, sir.
Tell me
I'll text
whenever
you.
you want,
Yeah,
whenever it
I'll
is
text you, sir.
convenient. I think Mr. Balakrishnans and others are. Sanjay, you also, you get one day one-on-one. Whenever you want to use it, you can use it.
Okay, sir. Thanks.
Please let me know. Okay.
Yes.
And then you wanted one of those recordings which you said you have missed, but you never sent me the details, Sanjay.
Sir, I have, as I told you, I'm caught up in this work and shifting. I could not do that.
Okay. Okay, then good night, friends. It was great. And then you see, many people have requested that I keep the program on a weekday and not Saturday, Sunday. Is it okay with everyone?
Okay, sir.
Okay with me.
Yes, sir.
Huh?
Yes. Okay.
Bala, is it okay with you?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It's okay, sir.
Okay, yeah, we'll do that. The next program will be on strategic canvas, how to draw the strategic canvas, which will be a visual representation of the market, and that will help you identify gaps so that you can create the strategic sequence that we will be taking. That I will keep it in a weekday. Okay. Good night, folks.
Good night, sir.
Thank you.
Good night, sir. Good night.